Blue Lips. They're commonly associated with the likes of Kool-Aid connoisseurs, the Squirtle Squad, and a group of sexy aliens from Mass Effect known as the Asari. Seriously, if you haven't been to Corey's Den on a Friday night, then you are missing out. That's Cinnamon Shift, and by the way, baby, please call me back. You listen, you don't have to dance to pay for your college tuition. Please let me save you, girl.
Go to horny jail.
My apologies. Back to the topic at hand. Blue Lips. It's the latest project from TDE's own Schoolboy Q. This is the same man responsible for bangers such as John Muir, Studio, and the song known as Num Num Juice. Now, if your attention span is that of a squirrel because you grew up an iPad kid, then sadly, you might be more familiar with his work due to his previous TikTok trend.
When a good thing goes bad.
It makes me throw up that I even have to reference that, but you get the point. Mr. Q is talented. But in 2024, he would face some challenges leading up to the release of Blue Lips. This includes dealing with the death of a close friend in 2019, some people claiming that TDE fell off, and the fact that it's been 5 years since the release of his last album. With the pace in which the internet moves today, 5 years might as well be 10. Also, can I briefly touch on the claims of TDE falling off? How can some of y'all say that if SZA just dropped one of the best albums of 2023 with SOS? I also believe Absol's 2022 project Herbert was solid as well, but I think a lot of y'all forgot about that because the internet moves so quickly. It almost feels as if some people say this because Kendrick left the label and because TDE doesn't drop every other month like some of these microwave TikTok artists. I get it, Kendrick was the general, but other members have put out some quality material and I think it's important to remember that. I will say their recent fallout with Reason was unprofessional and not a good look. I also think they need to develop some new talent so there isn't as much pressure on their current hitters as they age. And as for J-Rock, where is he? So I guess that means it's up to Schoolboy Q to carry the torch. It was March 1st, 2024 where he dropped his latest album titled Blue Lips. It sports 18 tracks and it has a 56-minute runtime. It released to majority positive reviews, with the album currently sitting at an 86 overall Metacritic. But seeing as you click this video, you most likely don't care what Metacritic has to say. You want to hear what I have to say, and that's most likely for two reasons. You're either in the A camp who respects what I have to say and you're looking for something new to listen to, or you're in the B camp, and that camp consists of hardcore Schoolboy fans who are first-time viewers thanks to the YouTube algorithm. These people watch anything related to him, and if I don't say something nice, well, they'll be in the comments below spamming.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Calm down, I'm gonna give my opinion on the music, but first, it's tradition on this channel to break down the album art. Album art is an important part of the music, and I feel like a lot of people forget that. Usually the artist is trying to convey some type of message that fits the theme of the project. I think the message that Q wants to convey on this album is fairly simple. See, the Blue Lips represents Schoolboy Q's organization of choice. The gap in his teeth is a metaphor for the wealth gap in the United States. The middle class doesn't exist anymore, so often kids can't afford proper dental care. The wealth gap often leads the young men of LA's inner cities down a path of joining one of two of the prominent organizations. The Blue Lips clearly represent Q being a fan of the blue side and Rooster Teeth's red versus blue. Last but not least, the parental advisory sticker is strategically placed on the tongue. And that's because rap music is about using your dialect in a rhythmic manner. That sticker is placed there to let you know that this artist plans to express themselves in a rather bold manner. And that's because Schoolboy Q is secretly a Maya Angelou fan. And what did Maya Angelou famously say? You have to dare to be different.
Man, what the fuck is you talking about?
What the fuck was that?
I'm sorry, man.
Anyways, let's talk about the music. I'm gonna preface this video by saying I like the album. I actually like it a lot, and it's a breath of fresh air. It was just the other day I was yapping over at twitch.tv/theblack wink 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 about how hip hop is currently in a weird space, at least the mainstream. It's just boring right now. It doesn't feel like anyone's pushing the needle, and we haven't seen a movement since Pop Smoke passed away and the NYC drill movement kind of died with him. Exacerbating this point is the release of Meek Mill's new album, Hedonism. Upon my first listen, I thought maybe I'm just getting old and rap isn't resonating with me anymore. Maybe I've officially entered my old unk stage, because I've noticed lately I've been listening to the same music just over and over and over, and it's part of the reason why the content slowed up on this channel. I just didn't feel inspired to talk about anything. And then I put on Blue Lips and realized Meek Mill's new album is just ass, and so is a lot of the other stuff that's just chasing TikTok virality. Blue Lips is great because despite how you feel about the music, one thing I think we all can agree on if you've listened to the record is, when you put this record on, it sounds like something Q wanted to make. That's my biggest issue with a lot of music today. Everyone sounds like everybody else, and that stuff is only impressive to a younger crowd who has less exposure to the culture as a whole. Blue Lips sounds like an album where the artist hopped on the mic and said, here's where I am in life. This is my vision for my current sound, and you can take it or leave it.
Okay,
Now you have my attention.
In this day and age where everyone feels the need to kick off things with a banger or a feature, I think it's ballsy to kick off your album with an opening track containing a slower, soulful sample from the Checkmate's 1974 record I Must Be Dreaming. Which, side note, the artwork for this song, yeah, insane. This joint looks like one of them old porn DVDs you used to find in your uncle's dresser.
Hey yo, what the fuck?
This does not look like a soul song. It looks like Soul Sister Throat Volume 3. Track 2 is titled Pop, and it contains a feature from DMV native Rico Nasty. This is a strange collaboration that I did not expect, but being that I am from DC, I am always rooting for my hometown artists. I think Q brought the grimy energy that this record needed, and Rico did a great job of contrasting it. This song contains some insane guitar riffs over the beat, but when Rico verse starts, I felt like the riff hit even harder because of her ability to match that heavy metal vibe. All this anger over the beat just made me think to myself like, damn, Shorty definitely was not lying when she said,
you know my blacklist poppin', I be giving them hell.
At this point, I'm enjoying the album, but it was when track 3 titled Thank God For Me came on is when I decided I was really feeling Blue Lips. The song kicks off with another soulful sample, this time from Julius Brockton's 49 Reasons. I'm thinking it's gonna be another heartfelt record, nothing wrong with that. But then at the 41-second mark, a beat switch happens. Another sample, which to the untrained ear, you might not catch it, but it's a flip on Project Patch Chicken Head. Dog, when that shit came on, I was in the whip, I was on my way to the gym, and my whole face did that ugly face scrunch up. It instantly shifted my mood and I was hyped. And that's not all this album is either. It contains several heartfelt records where Q opens up and lets the listener know where he's at mentally. Tracks like Cooties, Lost Times, and German 86 are some examples. You're gonna hear themes of loss, family, imposter syndrome, stress, regret, and more. And the best part is that it's a nice mix of self-reflection and straight up ignorant bangers. I cannot stress enough that this sounds like an album. This album sounds like it was produced by a human being and not an A&R executive. In 18 songs, you witness a man peel back his layers, and in that onion, you find someone who's admirable, but self-aware of how fundamentally flawed they can be, and they're striving to be better.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Look, to any aspiring artist, I'm gonna constantly preach this. You don't have to reinvent the wheel, just be yourself and make sure it sounds sonically good. Nobody can tell your story because it's your story, and ultimately that's what makes a great artist stand out and people connect to you better, which leads to a loyal core fan base. Blue Lips is a solid album. I highly recommend you give it a listen if you haven't already. Yeah, it's 18 tracks, but it's only 56 minutes, so you can easily burn through this one in one gym session. If you're tight on time though, and you need a few song recommendations, then I got you. I suggest starting with Thank God For Me, Blueslides, Yeern 101, Movie, Ohio, Lost Times, and Pig Feet. Side note, in preparation for this video, I actually went back and did a deep dive into Schoolboy Q's discography, and this dude doesn't really have a bad album. I feel like the internet moves so fast that it's easy to forget how talented some people are. I'd actually argue he has 4 banger albums with Oxymoron, Blank Face LP, Crash Talk, and now Blue Lips. So if you've never listened to his music for whatever reason, this would be a great time to do a deep dive. He has a lot of great music that will make your playlist if it hasn't already. That being said, Q is not the only artist out there putting in work. If you're looking for another artist carrying hip hop on their back, I'd highly suggest checking out my previous video on Adonis Graham. Some people call him a Nepo baby. I call him the savior of rap music, and if you want to know why, just click the card on your screen. I'm not trolling. I did a full breakdown on the deeper meaning of his debut single, and you can only find what that deep meaning is by clicking the card on the screen. But hey, I'm just saying.